Pirms ģenerālsekretāra kungs, paldies par šo vizīti Rīgā. Un, ja mēs kādreiz abi priecājamies, ka varam satikties vismaz 2 reizes gadā un pārunāt drošības jautājumus, tad tā ir kļuvusi par tradīciju, ka mēs tiekamies ik pēc 3 mēnešiem. Protams, jautājumi ir tie paši, kas interesē katru dalību valsts. Tas ir jautājums par NATO tālāko strateģisko konceptu, tātad kāda būs NATO nākotne, kādas būs reformas pašā NATO, lai padarītu NATO par efektīvu, ātri reaģējošu un ietekmīgu drošības organizāciju 21. gadsimtā. Protams, viens no galvenajiem jautājumiem ir, ko mēs darām Afganistānā, kāda situācija šodien, kas ir mainījies par pēdējiem 2 gadiem, ko mēs gribam mainīt, kādas varētu būt iespējamās sekas un kā panākt pozitīvu rezultātu Afganistānā, lai šī operācija beigtos ar sekmēm. Protams, vēl daudz citu jautājumu, kā runa par to, ko Latvija tieši var darīt NATO stiprināšanā, NATO reformēšanā. Un visbūtiskāk tomēr mums liekas ir, kad ir šis ļoti atklātais tiešais dialogs starp NATO ģenerālsekretāru un mani par to, kā mēs redzam NATO nākotni, kā mēs redzam sadarbību un kā mēs redzam arī pasaules drošību nākotnē.
Paldies. Vārds ģenerālsekretāra kungam. Rasmussen kungs, lūdzu.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you for your warm welcome. It's really a great pleasure for me to be back in Riga. I always enjoy our talks, and today I have taken the opportunity to commend the President for his strong personal commitment to our alliance. I would also take this opportunity to express my appreciation of Latvia's strong commitment to our alliance, and not least express my appreciation of your significant contribution to our mission in Afghanistan. Your soldiers are doing a great job, and your contribution is highly appreciated. Today we have, of course, discussed our operation in Afghanistan. A key element in our strategy is to make sure that the Afghans can gradually take over responsibility for the security themselves, province by province, as their own capacity develops. To that end, we need to train and educate Afghan soldiers and Afghan police. And therefore, our training mission in Afghanistan is of crucial importance. And I urge all allies and all partners to contribute to our training mission. And I appreciate very much that Latvia has also decided to contribute to our training mission. Finally, we have also discussed the future of NATO. In the coming months, I'm going to draft a new strategic concept, a basic document which will describe the core tasks of NATO, and this document will be approved at the NATO summit in Lisbon in November. I will not prejudge the outcome of our deliberations on the new strategic concept, but I would like to stress one point. NATO's core function was, is, and will remain territorial defense of our member nations and their populations. Article 5 in our treaty clearly states that we will help each other if it's needed. We consider an attack on one ally as an attack on all. This is the basic principle of solidarity. This is the foundation of our alliance, and this will remain the core function of NATO. Having said that, we also have to realize that if we are to protect our people effectively, we also need to modernize and transform our alliance so that we can address the new threats of the 21st century effectively, like terrorism, cyber attacks, missile attacks. And we need to develop capacity to deal with these threats in the coming years. And this will be one of the most important elements in the new strategic concept. And I'm very pleased that the President and the Latvian government agree that these are core elements, and I look very much forward to cooperating with Latvia as well as the other allies on the elaboration of a new strategic concept.
Paldies, mums iespēja tad uzdot divus jautājumus. Vārds lūdzu, Žāns Frans Press.
Alex Stoppinch, AFP. I have a question for Mr. Rasmussen. What should be the appropriate reaction of the alliance when one member sells off a military equipment to a non-member in spite of objections by other members of the alliance?
Well, I have to say that it is actually not alliance business. It is an arrangement, bilateral arrangement between one specific country and another country. What the alliance can do is to serve as a forum for consultation. I understand very well the concerns raised by some allies taking history and geography into consideration. I also think that such concerns will be taken into consideration. But in the specific case, and I suppose that you are speaking about the French sale of military equipment to Russia. In the specific case, I take it for granted that this arrangement will take place in full accordance with international conventions and regulations as regards transfer of military equipment. I also take it for granted that Russia will not use such military equipment against any ally or any neighbour.
Damien McGuinness, BBC. A related question to Mr. Rasmussen. Increasingly, Central and Eastern European countries are feeling nervous about growing cooperation between NATO member states and Russia, as far as energy goes, as far as economic trade goes. How do you manage to balance the desire to reset relations with Russia and also make Central and Eastern European countries feel secure?
First of all, let me say that I understand very well, taking history and geography into consideration, that some concerns may be raised occasionally. Having said that, I also have to convey the very clear message that the best reassurance you can get at all is an improvement of the relations between NATO and Russia. We all know that we have our disagreements, our disputes with Russia. For instance, as regards Georgia, we must insist on respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Georgia. We have also our disputes as regards NATO's open door policy. But let me stress, our open door policy will continue. So, let's face it, we will see areas in which we have our disagreements with Russia. But having said that, we also have areas where we share interests with Russia. Afghanistan, by the way, is one example. Counter-terrorism is another example. Counter-narcotics, a third example. And also when it comes to missile defense, it's my clear conviction that we are faced with the same threat and we should cooperate to protect our populations against that threat. My point is, we may have disputes with Russia, but we should develop practical cooperation in those areas in which we share interests. And if this could lead to a true strategic partnership, it would also be beneficial for the Baltic states and all other NATO allies. It would be real reassurance.
Mr. Rasmussen, this is in the Baltic Statement. Is it possible that some other state member of the NATO will send their goods to Afghanistan through the Baltics? And is it possible that Estonia or Lithuania will get some of these containers? Not only Lithuania.
Well, you are probably thinking about the transit, the transit link, and we appreciate very much Latvia's contribution, so to speak, to that transit facility, which is of utmost importance for our operation in Afghanistan. If this, in the future, could also lead to expansion of economic activities in the broader sense of the word, I would welcome that.
But is it possible that some transit will go through Tallinn or Vilnius, also not only through Riga?
I don't know. I would not exclude any possibility, but right now I think Riga is the point of departure, but who could or who should exclude new developments in the future?